Right now, you can earn a guaranteed return of over 7% with next to no risk. The reason you might not have heard about this is because these bonds aren't something you can buy through a brokerage like Vanguard or Robinhood. And instead, you need to buy them directly from the US Treasury. And not only is this investment class delivering record high returns, but they also come with some unique tax advantages. In this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know about IBonds so you can use them to accelerate wealth building on your financial journey. I'll also walk you through an example of how much the interest grows so you can calculate exactly how much you'll earn. Let's go. All right, so let's start with what an IBond is. An IBond, or more formally known as a series IBond, is basically a low-risk investment that's designed to shield your money from inflation. The reason these bonds carry such a low risk is because they're backed by the US government, which basically means that as long as the US government doesn't collapse or default, the money you make off these bonds is guaranteed. When you compare this to the risks of investing in company stocks, which can go down when a company's profits go down, and can even go to zero if the company goes bankrupt.
I declare bankruptcy!
The risk levels for IBonds are minimal. So what makes an IBond unique? Well, every 6 months, the US government changes their guaranteed return on certain investments. And while historically these locked-in returns have been pretty low, they recently updated their payout to 7.12%. So if you purchase this bond anytime before the next rate change, set for April 2022, you'll be returning an annual rate of 7.12% for the first 6 months of owning this bond, which is pretty great. In April, they will announce a new annual return rate, which will be the annual rate you'll earn interest for the second half of the year that you own the bond. So it is possible this return will go down for the second half of the year, but given inflation is nearly a 40-year high, it's very likely these returns will remain. So to understand how much money you can make from this, let's take a look at an example. Let's say you bought $1,000 worth of IBonds at the current rate of 7.12%. For the sake of this example, let's say you bought this on January 1st, 2022. Your bond is going to grow at the 7.12% return rate for the first 6 months of owning the bond. In this example, your $1,000 investment is going to grow $35.36 in this time period. For the next 6 months, your money will grow at the new rate that the Treasury announces in April. For this example, let's assume they set the new rate at 7.5%. For the remaining 6 months of the year, your investment will grow at this new rate, making your total investment being worth $1,074.40. But before you get excited and cash out your bonds to lock in that $74 gain, we need to discuss the catches that come with these bonds to ensure the government doesn't hit you with any fees that could eat into these profits. For starters, you can't buy an unlimited amount of these IBonds. In fact, the Treasury only allows you to buy $10,000 worth of IBonds each year per Social Security number. So don't go selling the farm just yet thinking you can transfer your money over to IBonds. The second major catch with IBonds is that while you're allowed to cash out your investments after just 1 year, you'll be hit with a penalty that amounts to the last 3 months of interest that you earned. So in the previous example, if you sold your IBonds after 1 year, you'd have to forfeit $19.20, since this was the interest that you earned in the last 3 months of owning the bond. There is a way around this penalty, and that's by owning the bond for 5 years. If you own an IBond for at least 5 years, you're allowed to sell that bond whenever you want at its full value without any fees. Because of this makes IBonds a great strategy if you're saving up for a major purchase like a home or a big renovation, where you want to have peace of mind knowing that your money will be there and growing, even if the market takes a tumble. Besides the catches, there are actually some fantastic tax benefits that make IBonds incredibly powerful in addition to their guaranteed returns. The first great tax benefit of investing in IBonds is the interest you earn on them is exempt from state and local taxes. So yes, you'll still have to pay federal tax on these investments, but not having to pay state and local taxes on the money you make on these investments is a major plus and can be really beneficial if you live in a high tax area. The second major tax incentive for IBonds actually enables you to avoid paying federal taxes. And this is if you're using IBonds to pay for your education. There are a few stipulations you need to know about if you want to use IBonds as a tax-free way to invest for college. The first is that you must have been at least 24 years old when you bought the bond. And because of this stipulation, oftentimes IBonds are a great way to set aside money for your children's college. The second stipulation is that the money is only tax-free if you make under the threshold that is updated each year. In 2022, the income threshold for a joint couple was around $150. So if you make more than this, you'll still be on the hook for paying taxes on the interest that you earn. Thirdly, if you want your education interest to be tax-free, you'll need to sell the bonds in the same year you pay for your education expenses. This means you can't sell your bonds the year before or the year after your educational expenses, and it must be in the same fiscal year. So with that being said, I mentioned in the beginning of this video that you can't simply buy IBonds through a brokerage firm, and you must buy them directly from the US government. Please let me know in the comments below what are your thoughts on IBonds. And as always, please like this video if you found it useful, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.